Hey folks, Trubie here. Back from Nationals. Just had that this past weekend, and yeah, sorry, no Four Horsemen shirt, but I wore that to Nationals and haven't done laundry yet. But yes, today I am here back to talk to you about Dice Masters. It's been a little bit of a break, but we had to do, me and Melissa preparing for Nationals, and also had some medical issues that you don't want to hear about. But we're back, and I promised another spotlight. So today we're going to talk about Robin. First, got to toot my own horn a little bit. Yeah, Nationals, Melissa and I went out of 58 competitors. I came in 19th and Melissa 24th. We just missed, I just missed the top cut for top 16. But I'm pretty happy with how I did. My team, I went with, well, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, we'll do a breakdown of my team sometime soon. Probably next time. But let's get into Robin here. So let me hold on, switch things up. Things ready. Okay, so today we're talking about Boy Wonder. There's been several nice versions of him. There was the Teen Titans one that really synergized well. He was an OP card, and then there was also the two different versions that had +3/+3 while Batman was active. But those cards are into the golden age, and I want to keep putting this stuff that's a little bit easier to get a hold of. So instead, we're going to stick with modern. And going into modern, we'll stock. The only ones we really have are the Batman set, and there's one OP set. So we'll talk about those. So first off, right from the bat, we have the Damian Wayne Robin. Finally, Robin has the ally keyword. Unfortunately, none of these really are spectacular. But really, I mean, who is the most quintessential sidekick in all of superherodom than Robin? So now we finally have him as a sidekick with the ally keyword. And you could use him like with Insect Plague. Use the global on that. Let me bring that up real quick. And send him in unblocked. So that's one way you could possibly use him. He's not my favorite of the Robins. So I mean, we'll just glance over that real quick. But there's also the original Robin, Nightwing. Nightwing here, you see him used a decent bit. He's a 2 cost, has decent stats. That's one of the nice things about him. But his fielding cost is a little rough. And also he has that caveat where you have to have either a villain out with him or a Batman affiliated character out with him for him to be able to block or attack. So very often he's just a dead die. And I've seen that happen too often, so I don't really love him. I mean, if you're playing Batman affiliation or villain affiliation, he's probably fine. But generally, I think that that caveat actually does bite people in the butt a decent bit. So instead, we're going to go to my favorite of the Robins. It's the OP Robin. So he comes from the Batman the Animated Series OP, and he's actually one of my favorites. But he does take a lot to set up. So you need a Batman and 2 other Batman family cards to make him super effective. So then he comes back. So you have the 2 are all. You have him and 3 others out. So 4 Batman affiliated characters. When he attacks, he's unblockable because of Batman, and he comes back to your field zone after dealing damage, which is pretty nice. The problem is, all the setup it requires to get that going. So yes, Batman needs to be out. And while that's that rare Batman that makes you reroll everything is super beastly, that's a really good card. I actually think the OP Batman that came with Robin here is actually a little bit better for this setup because the rare Batman needs to cycle and be fielded repeatedly, where this Batman just sits out. And with him out, as long as you just keep him on his Batman side, Batman family side, every time you field a Batman character, you knock something out. So you're going to be knocking out your opponent's sidekicks or their other zero fielding cost characters, and hopefully keeping your opponent at your speed. Because this team does take a little bit, or with this Robin, it does take a little bit more to get him set up. But so now you still need 2 more Batman OP cards or Batman affiliated cards. You could use that Nightwing that we saw just a second ago, which he's perfectly fine, and you're going to have the Batman other cards. So if you're building the team, that might be a decent thing to have on there. But I actually really like this this Batgirl. So when she's fielded, all of your other Batman affiliated characters get +1/+1. So that gives Robin a nice little boost. So when he goes through unblocked, he deals more damage. Pretty good. And she has a nice low defense, so you can probably send her along with him. and she's probably going to get knocked out. So you'll be able to field her again. Now, the fourth Batman affiliation, though, then it's sort of up in the air what you want to do. Something I kind of like is adding this Joker. So with this Joker, you keep him on the Batman affiliated side. Every time you field a Batman affiliated character, you can spin down a character, a non-villain character. And notice that the character you knock down doesn't say opposing, so you can actually do this to your own. So you could field Robin or Batgirl, spin one of your opponent's things down. If it gets to a 0 fielding cost on that face, then knock it out with Batman. You get to choose which order things trigger. You could also, if you already have a Batgirl out, you can field another Batgirl, trigger Joker, spin Batgirl down if she's on level 3, then trigger Batman to knock that Batgirl out, and then field her again next turn to give everything +1/+1 again. So it's a nice little cycle. And of course, if you field multiple Batgirls, you're going to give +1/+1, another +1/+1. So every time you field one, you're giving +1/+1. So you could potentially even use like momentum to field her, knock her out, use momentum, potentially roll her again, field her again, do it again. So it's a combo. And it probably wouldn't fire as much as it sounds like it would fire, but hey, it's fun. You try to do weird things like that. But yeah, that might seem all a little too convoluted for you. I realize in a lot of window space here. So let's go to something a little more straightforward. And this is actually what I used for my Nationals team. Good old Red Hood. Yeah, so if that other stuff was too convoluted, Red Hood here, Jason Todd, he just comes up and smacks you in the face. He's very similar to old Guy Gardner, if you were familiar with him at all. Every time he attacks, for each other attacking die, he gets +1/+1. So if you attack with 3 Red Hoods and a sidekick, the 3 Red Hoods all get +3/+3. So it's for each other die. If you attack with 5 dice, that includes, if Red Hood attacks with 4 other dice, he gets +4. It's pretty straightforward. It sounds it's easy to get screwed up on the math, especially when you're attacking with multiple of them. But yeah, just basically take the number of dice you're attacking with -1. That's how much Red Hood gets boosted to his attack. Yeah, so he can be pretty beastly. So one thing you do is just try to overwhelm your opponent by just smashing into him with this big, beat stick wall of Red Hood. You could also try to use giving him Overcrush. So if you go with Haymaker or going with Proton Cannon, those are ways to potentially deal damage. Back before rotation, he would have been great with Gorilla Grodd, but Gorilla Grodd's now been rotated out. But yeah, so give him Overcrush with Proton Cannon or Haymaker. Alternatively, you could also do what I did with Nationals, is try to use something to tie up your opponent's blockers, and for that I used Madam Web. Get him here. So I would field a bunch of Red Hoods and other character dice, get Madam Web out, pay the 2 energy, everything had to block Madam Web, attack for lethal. It worked pretty well for me. All in all, I went 3-2, and the games that I lost mostly because of bad rolls. Bad rolls and my opponent's ability to punish those rolls. So, but yeah, that's all I got. I think we have some good Robins out there. So I know, Jordan, if you're out there watching, I know you love Robin. He's your favorite. Here's some ideas for you. All right, folks, that's all I got. Keep on hiding myself with my cards. Let's just get those out of here as I sign out. There. I'm completely put in cardless. So yeah, so that's it, folks. Another just quick one going over some characters. Robin, there's some good ones. It's some great synergy with the other Batman characters. So yeah, it's fun stuff to play with. Next time, I think I will try to go over my Worlds team, or Nationals team, sorry. Talk about what I did for building that, some of the thought process, what I knew I was going to be facing, and what went wrong. So until next time, thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys on Sundays.